Greetings, superhero lovers. So, if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Iron Man, the start of the MCU, as we know. But let's back up a step. It's 2008, and you're not expecting anything, and then bam, new trailer for the newest Marvel movie, and you're just like, okay, this looks cool. This looks good. Go see it. And everything. And then by the end of it, you're just like, oh, it's gonna, it's one of those movies. It's by the end of it, sets up a franchise, sets up the Avengers, and then the Hulk, Incredible Hulk happens. Nothing until the stinger at the end. Both the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man came out in 2008. Incredible Hulk, not Hulk, two different movies. Mm. Um, but Iron Man is one of my favorite movies. Tony Stark, played beautifully by Robert Downey Jr., kills it as the character and has been doing the character since then, not changed. Throughout the movie, you see other characters like Obadiah Stane, the villain of the movie, um, as well as the Ten Rings in the background. With this movie, the Ten Rings are not the focus here. Um, But Obadiah Stane also has his villain name, Ironmonger. And Ten Rings kind of allude to the other big bad that Iron Man usually deals with, the Mandarin. Both of these characters are very integral to Iron Man. My nose is itching. But Iron Man, the first one, goes through the first three suits. The Mark 1 armor, probably one of his most iconic. The Mark 2, and the Mark 3, which he uses throughout most of the film and is on the poster, as well as the the box of the movie and everything. The art. Oh my nose is itching with the storm. What the hell? But what's the plot of the movie? Well, basic standard stuff. First, Tony's just going through the desert and everything. That bam, he's blown up, and then gets the bag taken over off his head and everything. It's a whole little kidnap plot. But then it pans to a couple, like, what was it? A couple days, a couple weeks. I don't remember. But it basically does a backwards time skip before that, like the 2 days earlier or whatever. But yeah, goes through all that, introduces some of the characters like Obadiah Stane, um, Robert Rhodey, James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, who would eventually become War Machine. Just not this one. See, Don Cheadle is not in the first Iron Man. They replaced him in Iron Man 2. Not getting into that. There's plenty of other videos that talk about that. Um, but eventually he gets kidnapped. He goes back to the beginning, and in that time we get to know who Tony is: egotistical, narcissistic, a womanizer, and flaunts money around. Basically, your typical rich playboy, right? But then he gets kidnapped. Gets his cellmate. Can't remember the dude's name right now, guys, but he's iconic to the character as well. And instead of building him a Stark weapon, he builds the Mark One. Blows the son of a bitches back to hell and back, and all that. Escapes. Makes his Mark Two armor. Improves the design, but it's that nasty coolant system, like cooling, ice buildup and all that. When it goes too high, the Mark Three, which we see throughout most of the film, has that nice red gold, with gold accents and everything, and that iconic scene. You know, the helmet going over his face and everything is awesome, and we get to see the character. And eventually, Obadiah Stane starts getting more and more into it and everything. Iron Man's taking out the people that are making his weapons, using his weapons for their own good grain. I love the scene where where he dodges a missile like you just it's like a little bitty missile and it taps. You don't think it hits. He walks away, like walks confidently. Then boom! This movie was flashy, just like Iron Man. It was flashy, full of explosions, and all culminates in a big fight scene between Iron Man and Ironmonger. Even with a little cameo in the background with Fing Fang Foom, which is kind of cool. Little movie poster for that, which is nice touch. Nice touch. When Einstein's defeated, and well, Iron Man gets to live another day. And of course, the most famous scene in the last couple, like 5-10 minutes of the movie, probably the most iconic. I am Iron Man. That's iconic. Now, that is iconic to Marvel fans now. And then, of course, Nick Fury shows up, played awesomely by Samuel L. Jackson, I might add. This was the first time we'd seen this guy as Nick Fury, and ever since then, Nick Fury's been the Black Dude, with the original Nick Fury being referred to as Nick Fury Senior from then on. So kind of cool. Um, but Nick just kills it as a character, showcases that he's part of a bigger world. Nobody believed him. Then here comes an Incredible Hulk at the end of that film. Tony Stark with Robert Downey Jr. reprising his role and saying he's wanting to recruit, trying to find the Hulk now. He's trying to find Bruce Banner. And we see his arc throughout the whole story. Hell, he goes on a bit of he goes from probably the most assholish character that you could ever think of to someone who wants to do right. And of course, he's got his friends Rhodey and Pepper Potts right alongside him. You know, through it all, even into Endgame. Rhodey would eventually become the War Machine, replaced in the second movie all onward by Don Cheadle, and he's awesome. He's an awesome actor. And Pepper Potts would eventually, during Infinity War and Endgame, get the rescue armor and become rescue, which he does in the comics as well. Her armor's different than in the comics and the in Lego Marvel superheroes and everything, but it's super cool still. It was a good start to the 2008 Iron Man was a good start with the Incredible Hulk tacked on as well. It was a great start to it, to the MCU. We just didn't know how big yet. Then Iron Man 2 happens, Thor, Captain America First Avenger, before finally, boom, the Avengers. So, 2012 is the Avengers. 4 years later, we get the Avengers movie. Everything. 5 movies all together before we finally get it. But Iron Man set it up and started something big. And I love that for him. But yeah, this was the start of it with over 20 plus movies, with more on the way, numerous shows, people trying to copy them, everything, and just launching the career of like bringing Iron Man to the mainstream, making him a very popular character now. And we have this movie to thank for it, and I love that. I love this movie. I especially love um, the villain's line of Tony Stark built this in a cave with a bunch of scraps. It's like the best line by the villain and everything. And the dude's retort of, I'm not Tony Stark. Of course you're not. And well, he realizes that. But the thing is, though, that guy who said that second line eventually pops up in the Spider-Man. I think it was Far From Home. Yes, I do believe I'm right. And everything. So a lot of Tony Stark character people who worked on this stuff would eventually do that. But yeah, the first Iron Man movie is iconic, and hopefully y'all liked it. Hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Of course, go down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this video. Did y'all see Iron Man? How are you planning on it? Let me know. I know I did a little summary of the movie and everything, but it's actually I want y'all to go see these movies. What would I rate Iron Man? Out of 5 stars? 5 out of 5, baby. This was one of the best Marvel movies. And it's still one of my favorite solo Marvel movies of all time. I do have a personal favorites with Spider-Man, the Hulk, you know, but Iron Man definitely very high up there. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. I've been your host, Kenneth Lupus. This has been the Gamers Den's Tube Heads, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one.